All right, guys, so I'm sorry my last video got cut off. I had a small child and then I was writing and I just wanted to kind of shoot this a little bit from the beginning again. So we have 35.3 degrees as my first angle. In 7.1, this is where we stopped. We finished finding the angle. It was all good. Now, we're going to check for triangle 2. And all that we do, and it's actually very easy, is we do 180 minus what angle we're given. So 180 minus 35.3. So 180 minus 35.3. We get 144.7. All right. So this actually could be our other B. Now, what part of the check is that all we do is we add what this potential other B is to the angle that we have. We have 144.7 plus 120. Now, if this is less than 180, we have another triangle. So if less than 180, there's another triangle. Now, this most definitely is not less than 180. You get 264.7, so no way. But that's how you go about the test. You take 180, you subtract it from the angle you found, and that is our potential other angle. And then you just add it to the angle that we know. And if it's less than 180, there's two triangles. And if it's not, you don't have two triangles. So the only B we have is this 35.3. All right, great. So 35.3 is our B, and we can find angle C relatively painlessly. So angle C will be 180 minus 120 plus 35.3. So 180 minus 120 plus 35.3. We get 24.7. That's angle C. Very exciting. All right, and then the last thing that we need to do is find side C. So like I said, I always like to use the pair they give us because it's the exact, we haven't rounded anything yet, but you are free to use B if you would like. So I'm going to set this up equal to sine of A over A. So sine of 120 over 30 is equal to the sine of 24.7 over side C. We cross multiply. We're going to get C sine of 120 is equal to 30 sine of 24.7. And I'm going to divide both sides by the sine of 120. Okay. So side C will give me, so I have 30 sine 24.7 divided by sine of 120. Okay, so side C is 14.5. Or in centimeters. Okay, great. And once again, that makes sense. So C is 24.7. That is our smallest angle. It should be across our smallest side, which it is. A is our biggest angle opposite our largest side, and then B is in the middle. All right, so finally, we're going to do the two-case triangle. If I have to flip this over to the back, I will. So our two-case triangle, we know how the test works, so we're just going to do that, and we'll get two solutions. And when I get two solutions, I actually get two triangles. So there's a little bit more work to be done here with this third case. All right, so I'm going to say A is equal to 60 degrees, B is equal to 18 meters, and A is equal to 16 meters. All right, so A, B, C, 60, 16, 18. All right, so I'm telling you off the bat we're going to have two triangles, which kind of takes away some of the fun, but it is what it is. So once again, we're going to go ahead and set up how we have been setting up. I have my combo with A, so I'm going to find angle B first. So sine of 60 over 16 is equal to the sine of B over 18. We cross multiply, so I get 18 sine of 60 is equal to 16 sine of B. Sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. Like I said, this is calculator work, but it's just good to keep it in the back of your head. It's not going anywhere. So this is 9 root 3 is equal to 16 sine of b. So divide both sides by 16. So I'm going to get sine b is equal to 9 root 3 divided by 16. Make sure that root, by the way, ends where that number ends, so you're not like taking the square root of the whole thing. All right, so I get 76.97. I'm going to round that to 3 significant figures. That would give me 77.0 degrees. All right, so that's option 1. So this is our check for triangle 2. All right, so what we do is we take 180, we subtract it from the angle that we find, 77. So 180 minus 77, 180 minus 7 is 10, minus another 7 is 103 degrees. We say, does 103 plus 60, is that less than 180? Backwards, 180. And the answer is yes. All right, so we do have a second triangle. So that's our other B. So we do have 2 triangles. This is going to be 2 different scenarios. All right, so like I said, it is a little bit more work, but that's how it is done. And so then you compare our first example where that's not a lot of work. This is definitely the most work. All right, so if I have to flip this over, I'm going to flip this over. But let me finish this first triangle. You know what? Actually, let me do this on the other side. I'm going to flip this over. So I'm going to say B equals 77 degrees is my triangle 1. And I think we said B is equal to 103 degrees, and that's my triangle 2. All right, so let's label this thing out. So A, B, C, 77. This was 60. A was 16, and then B was 18. Okay. A, B, C, 60, 103, 18, and 16. So these are the 2 triangles we're going to finish solving. We're going to get different C's for each of them. Doesn't matter which one you do first. Okay, let's find the angle C first. So C is 180 minus 60 plus 77. 180 minus 60 plus 77. 43. All right, that's exciting. And then we're going to set up our ratio. Like I've said before, I like to use the one that we're given. So I'm going to do sine of 60 over 16 is equal to the sine of 43 over C. We cross multiply. C sine of 60 is equal to 16 sine of 43. Divide by the sine of 60. Okay. And let's get what C is. So I get 16 sine of 43 divided by the sine of 60. 12.6. C is equal to 12.6. And I think we were in meters. All right. Perfect. So that's our one triangle. And then our second triangle, same thing. C is obviously going to be different. So we'll go through it. 180 minus 60 plus 103. 180 minus 163. 17 degrees. Very good. All right, 17 degrees. Okay, so notice in both triangles now, C is the smallest angle, okay, and B is the largest. So just something to be aware of. And then once again, find side C. Sine of 60 over 16 is equal to the sine of 17 over C. We cross multiply. Looks good. Divide by the sine of 60. Okay, 16 sine 17 divided by the sine of 60. All right. 5.4. Now, it makes sense that there's such a large discrepancy. C is 43 degrees, and I get 12.6. Here, C is 17 degrees, and I get 5.4. So I just want you to know that, like, even though you're like, how the heck did I get 5.4? It definitely makes a lot of sense. So just something for you to be aware of as you go through. So 7.2 will be law of cosines, and then I'll talk about when we use each one and the different scenarios that looks like.